Let's be real. No matter where you live or how much you earn, one thing is always hanging over your head. What happens if I lose my income? Everything we need to live, our homes, food, and security, is tied to a paycheck. When that paycheck disappears, so does our access to those things. And now, with AI promising to upend entire industries, that question isn't just hypothetical, it's becoming reality for millions. When people are constantly on edge, worrying about survival, it fuels crime, desperation, depression, even anger. Because when people feel trapped with no way out, they do whatever it takes to get by. Markets were supposed to solve our problems, but they only work for individuals, not for communities or societies. And they only solve problems for people with the money to buy the solution. That's why we still have poverty, homelessness, and an environmental crisis, because solving those things doesn't make anyone rich. In this economy, if it isn't profitable, it doesn't happen. But that's not the only way an economy can work. What if there was another economy? One that existed alongside this one, where food, housing, and transportation were available to all, regardless of how much money they have. Think about libraries. You don't buy the books, you borrow them. You get what you need, when you need it, and return it when you're done. No hassle, no debt, no stress. Now imagine that idea expanded beyond books. A people's library where housing, food, transportation, and tools are shared instead of hoarded. No rent, no interest payments, no barriers. We already live in an economy that forces us to compete just to survive. But what if we could also choose an economy where people support one another, ensuring that everyone's needs are met? And no, this isn't some utopian fantasy. It's already happening, just in small ways. Tool libraries, food cooperatives, co-housing communities. People are already building local solutions that make life easier, not harder. But these solutions are often disconnected, operating in isolation. The People's Library could weave them into a more seamless, coordinated network, making it easier for people to access resources and contribute in ways that feel meaningful. And what sets the People's Library apart is how that access works. Instead of spending most of your life working for a paycheck, just to turn around and hand that money over for rent, food, and transportation, you contribute your time directly to the system that grants you access. And here's the key. It takes far less time than a market job. Why? Because the People's Library owns what it shares outright. There's no rent to landlords, no interest payments to banks, no shareholders demanding profit. Without those financial drains, the time required to sustain the system is dramatically lower. Imagine meeting all of your needs, not by working 40+ hours a week at a job you don't love, but by contributing a few days a month to your community. You could teach photography to kids, build furniture from reclaimed materials, help restore local ecosystems, cook meals with food grown in community gardens, or help fix housing in need of repairs. The possibilities are endless. The best part? You don't have to choose one or the other. These two economies can exist side by side, giving you more freedom, not less. So what kind of economy do you want to live in? One that forces you to compete for survival, or one where people support each other, meet their needs, and create a thriving, connected community? The People's Library isn't some far-off dream, it's something we can start building now. A better world is possible, and it starts with us. If this resonates with you, let's keep the conversation going. I've made 2 deep dive videos, one on why markets can't solve the very problems they create, and another on how the People's Library works in detail. If you're curious, check them out here, or visit thepeopleslibrary.life to get involved.